Chef Himanshu, welcome to the Hakim podcast.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Chef Himanshu, you're considered one of the best chefs in the world. Tressin Studio was just named in one of the world's 50 best restaurants in the world at number 13.
Yes, and I think it's a big honor. It's a big honor to be in that list at first place, and I think shouldn't go by the number, because any number in that list is a great number, because it's a list which is full of so many legendary chefs and restaurant, and it's all those chefs who have looked up to them in last 10-15 years, and I think collectively in my team and we manifested this to be here one day, and I think it's a happy feeling within the team, within the group, and we look forward to be the representative and of Indian cuisine, and we are happy that all this hard work from many years has got us here.
And what does that feel like as a chef who's been working toward that their entire life? What does it feel like to be on that list?
I think it just reflects the journey, all the hard works and all the hardships we've gone through, all the time we sacrificed, not given enough time to our families, and sacrificed the time to spend with them. I think it's all just a happy, motivational feeling, is that even the family, nods it that all this effort which you've been making for so many years now is taking shape. For me, it's always something which I've manifested, growing up. We've always looked up to World's 50 Best list, even Michelin Guide. And it was almost like your daily motivational dose that you come onto the work, because all of these things needs patience also. Like, people should understand that we didn't suddenly woke up and got into it. Tressin Studio is 6 years old. And of course, for me, it's been almost 17, 18 years into cooking. And I cannot take it away from the team, from the whole group. I think because it cannot be effort of a single chef or a single man to get there, because it's a collective effort, it's a team effort. I believe all the chefs who go solo, they are amazing on TV, it's like that. And when you run a restaurant, you need a whole set of team to contribute, otherwise you cannot take it ahead.
And what do you get? So you get added to the list, and that's a sort of a badge of honor. Do you get anything else? Or do you have money?
No, it's just, it's equivalent to so many things. Because now when we get into the list, even this year, last year, there are so many guests who are just passing from Dubai for a day, and they stop over just to eat with us, So people are traveling who are enthusiasts with food and everything. They stop over, they come specially to eat, they celebrate their best occasions with us. So many things, you get a recognition. Of course, it brings pressure also, because people come in with great expectations in your restaurants, and you have to literally surpass those expectations to make them feel happy, because anything lesser than their expectations would make them feel disappointed. And of course, they're spending money and everything. They book so many months and days in advance. That's the best thing you get out of this list, is because you get a wait list of months and days.
Wow.
And yes, you can plan your menus and you can plan your days. You know how many people are going to eat tonight. And of course, you get so many people, the other fellow chefs who want to come and eat in your restaurant. So I think all of this is much more than anything else for a chef, to be the ambassador of your cuisine, to be representing the region which has given us so much. I think it's more than what we could have asked for.
Is Tressin Studio the only restaurant on the list?
In the top 50 restaurants, it's only Tressin Studio from Middle East.
Wow.
That's how we became the best restaurant in Middle East. But we have our Fali brothers and in the extended list this year. But amazing restaurant. As I said, it's a popular list, but it can be so subjective. It differs with so many opinion and reasons. If you want to evaluate, I think it's going to take you so much of energy and time. But I think every restaurant in the list is a great restaurant. You cannot compare it. They are sometimes too different of a cuisine. For me, any restaurant who is number 50th or any restaurant who is number 13th, you cannot say that this is better or this is good. I think every restaurant deserves an importance. It's a spotlight which these restaurant gets, but I think numbers cannot justify what you are eventually doing in your restaurant. Any number is a great number.
So what's the wait list for a visit to Trissin Studio?
So in summers, it's a bit different than in winters. In winters, it can go up to like a month, month and a half. In summers, it's like a week time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And what would I be looking forward to if I visited Trissin Studio?
So Trissin Studio is an Indian restaurant. Is an Indian restaurant which is trying to break every stereotype attached to Indian food. We want to tell a bigger story of our country. We still think that Indian food has not got onto that level where it deserves in terms of recognition in the world. I think people still don't think Indian food can also be cool, So I think it's an experience which is very unique in its own way, not just with the Indian genre, but I think in a generic category also. The experience which we provide is based on the 4 geographical regions in India, like Thar Desert, Northern Plains, Himalayan Mountains, Coastal Plains, Deccan Plateau. And it's something which brings out dishes, stories, ingredients, techniques, which are not usually seen in Indian restaurant. Usually I've believed that Indian restaurants out of India generally are North Indian dominated restaurant. And India is such a big country in that sense that if you travel every 200 kilometers, we have a different cooking style, different ingredients, a dialect, change in culture. So I think we want to be a voice of 1.23 billion people, in that sense that there is so much to offer from India in terms of our cuisine that the world has not seen, and we just wanted to slowly bring that all up and make sure that we say that Indian food is not big or lesser than any cuisine in the world.
And how much would the average person be looking at if they visited the best restaurant in Dubai?
It's about 1,000 dirhams.
Okay.
895 is the price of the menu, but I said 1,000 because you have a drink, etc., etc. You come for an aperitivo, you have a small aperitivo, a glass of wine, something like that. But yeah, it's about 1,000 dirhams per person, but for 20 dishes.
20?
Yeah, it's small portion, rightly portion. I would not say small portion, but it's 20 dishes. So I think it's a fair price. It's a small restaurant, just 15 covers 15 people in one seating. So we do about 30 guests a night.
Okay.
Only operational for dinner. So we need at least 7-8 hours of prep every day to be able to serve 30 people.
And can you stay there for as long as you want to make the most of your 1,000 dirhams?
You can stay. We have a lounge area. We have a bar top where you can, if you want to spend some more hours after your experience, you're more than welcome. In a good weather, we have the rooftop, like the terrace, which is beautiful, in which we have a small garden itself, which is like a herb garden. So we do a lot of herbs and flowers and vegetables, whichever possible, permitting the weather. But I think it's a beautiful setting in that sense that for me, it's like a boutique restaurant. It's a live kitchen. You see everything being made in front of you, and it has a right kind of theater, not just too much tasty food, diverse cuisine of our country. We follow a few simple philosophies, which I think is very important for a restaurant like this. Like we focus also on vegetarian menu. Of course, you can't do 20 dishes, all animal protein, So we have a right balance of vegetarian dishes. At the same time, we stay away from using luxury ingredients, so that you would not find caviar, truffle, foie gras in the menu. I think this helps us to look forward to many other interesting things, dishes, and of course you can use it. But all of the great, amazing produced ingredients. But I think you should find to do it differently than others. So I think when you find the day I would find a better way to use a truffle, I would definitely use it in my menu, but not now.
Have you cooked for any celebrities, any high-profile people?
For me, the best celebrities can be the chefs. and I think it's a restaurant where many chefs from around the world has eaten. This is for me, as I said, for me celebrities are my chefs because I've looked up to them from last 10 years, read their books, read their stories. And we have Chef Mauro Collegreco, who was the best chef in the world, best restaurant in the world, who has eaten with us. And then Chef Massimo Bottura has eaten with us, Rasmus Monk. The list is endless, to be honest. We have a big wall where we make all the chefs sign who have eaten with us. And there's hard to find a space in that wall now. But I think for me, that's the best feeling when a chef finds the time to come to your restaurant and then is very happy about the experience,
Is there like a WhatsApp group with all the best chefs in the world? Like, what did you cook
definitely
today?
I'm not the part of that group yet. But I think all the chefs has so much of mutual respect. And for us, it's a small world. We see each other on different platforms, in different part of the world. We sometimes cook together in our restaurant, like a collaboration dinner. But I think we see each other, all of us, at least once or twice in a year.
And is it more pressure when you cook for, I guess, different sorts of people like chefs or high-profile celebrities, or do you kind of keep a calm temperament?
I think we keep a calm temperament. You cannot do anything more. In our experience, we have 20 dishes, so I will not do extra one dish, a special dish for a special guest. For me, every guest is a special guest.
Yes.
I feel very happy when a fellow chef comes and eat in my restaurant. For me, that's the best feeling I would have, and it means a lot if you have so many chefs come and eat in your restaurant. But I think we just keep it normal. I think we keep it cool, we keep it normal because we have, as I said, we have 6 tables in the restaurant. For me, every table is a very important table. I cannot just give importance to one table and leave out the 5 others. It's an open kitchen, it's an open theater. And for me, every guest is an important table.
And do you go and chat to each guest?
Yes. Whenever I'm in the restaurant, of course, I go out with many courses. I want to explain dishes myself. It's a story about, as I said, the landscape of India and its produce and spices and the stories about India. So we take a lot of pride doing that. And I enjoy to present my dishes because sometimes they are complicated and chef is so passionate that he can do it the best way possible.
Wow. And what's your advice to younger chefs listening? You 18 years ago getting into cooking.
I always believe that hard work beats talent every time, not just in our industry, in every industry. So you shouldn't shy away to put in extra hours to do all the hard work you could do in your life. And of course, you're talented with the hard work can take you to another level. The other advice I would give it to the young chefs is to pursue their cuisine, to represent their culture, their country. It's very easy to get carried away with cuisine of a different country, but I think since you have represented, since you've lived in your country, experienced that culture, eaten so much, I think you can be the best representative of that cuisine. If you want to be a representative of a Japanese cuisine, so imagine you're competing with a chef who's born there, lived there, cooked, eaten, understand what produces, what happened there. And if you try to do that, it takes so many years of efforts, and you start from scratch as if you're born new to this world and you're learning a different cuisine. It's a different experience. You can do it. A lot of chefs have done it. But I mean to say, you should always represent where you come from. I think that can be the best possible outcome. And you can do wonders in that because you've breathed that, you've lived with that feeling. So,
does a Michelin-star chef ever get takeaway? Do you have like burger, fries sometimes, or you're like, no, I need fresh?
Of course, 100%. No, sometimes you miss simple stuff also. I always look forward to eat at home. My one meal has to be at home, which has to be the simple lentils and bread and vegetables and stuff like that, because you're surrounded with the smell of food and you're eating, tasting every day. And sometimes you just get fed up. Maybe sometimes it's just what you need is just French fries, with salt and mayonnaise. I think so. It's a myth. I think the chefs probably the most simple, humble eaters when it comes to themselves, because that's what is missing in their lives.
And how important is it for the average person to get fresh ingredients? And also, I never know, should you always get organic or should you always get fresh, or is frozen okay as well?
No, I think it's like in Tresson Studio, we always do preparation as per our reservation sheet. So if the reservation sheet says 25 guests, we would just be prepping for 25 guests. So we don't take walk-ins, and we don't take walk-ins, and we usually get to know how many guests are eating one day before. That's the confirmation you get. And every day we start fresh. So every day there is a fresh produce comes in. Every day there is fresh protein comes in. And since it's a small operation, we have enough storage. We don't store too much at the same time, I mean to say, and we have just enough storage for a day. So everything comes in fresh, everything is cooked and consumed in a day, and then you start fresh again. So you can, I think all the small restaurants can do it, can follow this direction. Of course, if you have a bigger operation, then you have to mass produce and you have to freeze and defrost, and which of course is not as great as the fresh produce, but it totally depends on the operation. For me, Tresson Studio is a passion project. It's not just about making money. Yes, it's about balancing books, but at the same time, it's just fulfilling your passion. We have other restaurants with which we try to make money as also priority, but in terms of Tresson Studio, I think we want to have a great representation for Indian food. We want to fulfill our passion in terms of what we love the most, and we have absolute liberty to do what we love to do. And I think I would give credit to Mr. Nath, who's the owner of the group, and he's given me free hand in the sense that he allows me to cook and create an experience the way I want it to be. And I think he's one of the most supportive peoples in my life. So yeah, credit goes to him also for Tresson Studio to be where it is right now.
And how does something like inflation, it's affecting everyone. When we go to the grocery store, for example, the prices of everything have hiked. How does that affect a Michelin-star restaurant?
I think it's just about being smart, I would say. Choose ingredients wisely, which are in season. The ingredients in season would cost much lesser than you try to buy something which is out of season, from Europe or from India, from anywhere else. So whatever you can get it easily, of course. And then how you are utilizing the byproducts, the kitchen scraps in your restaurant. And for us, like we have a synergy menu between the kitchen and the bar. It's like a pairing program. And all the pairing program is derived from what we do in the kitchen, so nothing goes to the bin unless it's gone bad, which is very rare. And so everything completes the whole cycle in the kitchen. So if you are smart enough, there are plenty of ways where you can balance your books. This is one of the best ways to do it. And of course, we have a small garden where we try to do as much as possible. It's not just to control the cost, because there are certain things which would not be as fresh from the market than from where you're growing and you utilize from there, for example. And you would not get into the market. For example, the curry leaf flowers you would not get into the market because they have a very delicate small shelf life. You pluck it. If you use it within an hour, it's okay. Otherwise, after that, it's just not in the right shape. Small coriander flowers, onion flowers is something which would not be available in the market, but you can only use it if you're growing it fresh. You pluck it an hour before you use it in your recipe, and it's a great outcome. So small steps can do it. As I said, we prepare the food with the reservation sheet, so nothing gets wasted, So while doing these small steps, your food cost and can easily come down. You can tackle the inflation and everything. And as I said, we don't use luxury ingredients to begin with, so which just ends up us saving a lot of cost in that sense.
Yeah. And this might be a silly question, but how do you know what fruits and vegetables are in season?
Because you've been cooking for such a long time, so you would know that. And of course, we go and check out the markets, and we've formed our own cycle, so we know when Even the mangoes you have got, this is the best time for mangoes, but you have 10 kinds of mango varieties. But all of those 10s are not available throughout the summers. There's specific time for all 10 of them, for example, to be in their best form possible in between those 15 to 20 days. So it's like that specific also.
And how does the average person know? I never know. I know this is really silly, but I never know what is in season. I know mangoes are in season now, but I never know what is in season.
But, we are living in that kind of a world where you can get mangoes in winters also in Dubai, for example. You know, so it's just that people are trying hard, and a different weather condition permits them to grow different stuff, even at the odd hours in the year. But I mean to say, if you ask like a woman or a lady who cooks every day, she would know. She would know. She would know. She has read it. She has seen it in the market. She would know. She would expect it the next year. Okay. So on and so forth. But now we are living in that age where everything is accessible from different parts in different regions, either from east or from the west. You can source it somehow. But why would you want to do that? The answer is this: you could cook with the season. You get the best possible result in terms of how the dish is tasting. The freshness, the smell of the ingredient is always in best shape when you are cooking it in the season. Even though we change the menu once in a year, but we always do seasonal ingredients here and there wherever it's possible.
And what are some of your favorite ingredients? What do you keep at home?
I think I'm always fond of basic stuff. Like I love tomatoes. For me, tomatoes with its umaminess, sweetness, it can be used for a curry, for a salad. It's so diverse and versatile also at the same time. So I love citrics also. So yuzu, limes, pomelos, grapefruits. I think they're also something which adds a new dimension in terms of cooking. In terms of spices, I love black pepper, for example, a hint of cardamom, also cinnamon. I'm a big fan. So for me, my list is very simple and humble. Ingredients. I love artichoke, for example, which just gives you so much of earthiness, roasted, roasted, earthy, rustic flavors, and it's so versatile again.
Wow. So you're a chef for one of the top 50 restaurants in the world. Where to next?
I think it just, as I said, is just to keep getting better. It's just to bring out, wherever we do the new menu, is just our agenda is to make it better than the last one, which is always challenge. Because people come back when we change the menu with great expectations. So you have to bring your best side of yourself every year. It's a challenge, of course. And I think, as I said, with the list, any number is a good number. Like, I don't want to say that, okay, I want to be top 10 next year, top 15 next year.
Yeah.
You work hard. You work hard to be number one, man. You don't work hard to be top 10. You play a competition to win it. You don't play to come second or third. So if you ask me where you want to be in the list, of course, number one, But I mean to say, it doesn't happen like that. You have to work, and without keeping that as a goal, or can be as a goal, you work towards getting yourself better and better.
Yeah.
And then leave it up to the Almighty. Wherever you are, it's the best place to be in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where can we visit Trescind? Where can we follow you online?
So I'm pretty active on Instagram. Chef Himanshu Saini is my handle, and Trescind Studio is in Palm Jumeirah at St. Regis Gardens. We have our main restaurant Trescind, which is in one and only Royal Mirage at the Marina. So it's not too far. If you're looking for a family style meal, you go to Trescind. If you're looking for a date, for a nice evening, a long evening, you come to Trescind Studio, which is a 2 different restaurant from the same group. But as I said, come with open eyes. I mean to say, with open heart. Accept Indian food. I think it's also one of the most tastiest cuisine in the world. It just needs a bit of refreshment and refinement. And I think it's the best period for Indian food. Next 5 years, I think the whole world will hear more about Indian food, more about Indian chefs. I think we're just getting started.
Love it. One more question, Chef Himanshu. A lot of the people that visit a Trissin studio, is it for birthdays, proposals, anniversaries?
A lot of anniversaries, birthdays. As I said, it's a small room. So sometimes we have all the 6 tables of 2s, like a couple. But sometimes they want to entertain a client, but with someone who loves food also, because it's not a place where you come and discuss business, because you'll get bothered with information and stories, and every 2 minutes, every 5 minutes, there's a course coming in front of you. So food enthusiasts, chefs, people celebrating birthday anniversaries, special occasion, somebody's trying to bring in their parents. They've enjoyed the experience, so they want to bring their parents to also experience it. And we've made so many friends now. We have so many friends who message us, who follow our story and journey. So it's no longer with many guests we have a relationship of a restaurant at a guest. It's like they've become friends and family.
So nice. Thank you so much, Chef Himanshu. We'll see you at Trissin Studio.
Thank you so much. Looking forward. Please come visit us. As I said, come with open heart, accept Indian food as if you've never seen before. Thank you so much.
And we need to book a month in advance.
Which is easy.